Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another day in my life. I filmed this video last Monday. We're gonna prepare mushroom cookies together because all of you know it pairs very well, cookies in general, it pairs very well with coffee. And for the lunch, I'm gonna prepare potato boats with chicken filling. And that's it. So to get started, and the first thing we're gonna do here is add in 250 grams of room temperature, hopefully kind of soft butter, along with a touch of sugar, nearly about 1 cup, in addition to 1 bucket of vanilla powder. And then we will take a hand mixer or whisk if you want a little bit of a workout, and we will blend this until it's nice and light and fluffy. And yes, for the 100th time, I didn't let my butter get soft enough. So please do as I say, not as I always do, and leave your butter out so it's nice and soft. But anyway, back to the dough, and eventually my butter did soften up, at which point we will stop and add the dry ingredients, which are 1 cup of cornstarch, in addition to 2 cups of flour and half a teaspoon of baking powder. And we'll mix that in until it's beautifully blended. And if you've never made cookies before, as you start mixing these, you're gonna be thinking there's way too much flour and that this dough is much too dry. But trust me, it's not. Just keep mixing and folding and poking and smashing and smearing, and eventually it will come together. And that's it. As soon as that flour disappears and everything seems evenly mixed, we can stop and divide it into 2 sections, where the first one I'm gonna leave it white and the second I'm gonna add a few drops of red food color. Then we can wrap these up and chill them in the fridge for half an hour before we form our cookies. And that's it. After half an hour chillaxing in the fridge, we'll go ahead and pull our dough and unwrap it. And what we do is portion this dough onto a baking sheet. And for that, I like to make a roll and cut it into equal size balls of dough using a bench scraper, because the ultimate goal is to get these all exactly the same size or as close as possibly can. And what we do once those are portioned is give those a quick roll between our palms to make them nice and smooth. So it could look like a mushroom cap, which by the way is optional. You can have your cookies the shape you want. But for today, and personally, I decided to make them look like a mushroom, especially if you're gonna give these as an edible gift, or like me, making these for my children. But anyway, you decide. And as you can see, at this size, I'm gonna be able to get 20 of them. And as for the white dough too, we're gonna do the same thing that we did with the red color dough. So we're gonna portion it into equal size portions or equal size balls of dough, and then we're gonna try to make them look like the stem of a mushroom in the way shown. So for the amount, we're gonna make about 20 of them too, because we have 20 caps and we need 20 stems. Well, I committed a mistake here, because cookies will spread out when baked and I didn't leave enough spaces between them, as you can see. So for this amount, you have to use 2 sheet pan, not only 1. But if you want to go ahead and use half the quantity, then you can use only 1 sheet pan. So don't do my mistake, because they spread it out and they got stick to each other, and I spent a lot of time separating them from each other, so don't do like that. And now we're gonna put a small dots on the caps of the mushroom in the way shown, just to give them that beautiful appearance. And that's it. Now we're gonna take it and put it in a 180 Celsius oven for 20 minutes. And while waiting for that to happen, we're gonna go ahead and prepare our chocolate. So I'm gonna add in a small bowl 50 grams of chocolate along with 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, and then we're gonna melt them using the microwave or the double boiler. And here I showed you how did they spread it out, and then I separated them. And the last step is gonna be taking the melted chocolate and try to stick the cap with the stem in the way shown. So leave them a while like that until the chocolate gets firm. And now, above and beyond the decorations, these are just truly great butter cookies. And if you go ahead and use a good butter, you're gonna get the best cookies ever. I think you're gonna find them incredibly addictive. I mean, if you can somehow eat less than 4 or 5 or 6 of these, I'm gonna be very impressed. These are just that good. So I went ahead and put that in a box before finishing them. And next step is go ahead to prepare the lunch for today, which is potato balls with chicken filling. So the first step to prep our dish for today is taking about nearly 2 kilos or 4 pounds of potato. And here I'm peeling them, but if you don't want to peel them, you have to rinse them and wash them very well just to get the peel very clean. And now after our potatoes have been peeled and washed, I washed them and cleaned them, we're gonna go ahead to the next step, which is cutting these potatoes in halves. So we're gonna cut them like this in halves. Just repeat the same thing until you finish the whole quantity. And then once our potatoes have been peeled and cleaned and cut into halves, what we're gonna do right now is taking a small teaspoon and we're gonna try to take the inside in the way shown. You make a small circle and another small circle, and then you try to scoop this. So we're scooping the half potato right now just to make it resemble a small boat. In our bait, I have to bring another bowl. A small circle, another small circle, and scoop the rest in the way shown. It's as easy and as simple as that. Why am I missing all of the pieces of potato? I broke this one too. And then once our potato have been scooped, all of it, next step is seasoning. So we're gonna season these right now. I'm gonna need a splash of olive oil. I added nearly a cup of olive oil. And we're gonna need to use 1 teaspoon of salt, in addition to black pepper, 1 teaspoon too, and chili pepper. Here is the chili pepper. I've added nearly 2 teaspoons or 1 big tablespoon of chili pepper, a small teaspoon of oregano. Now I added these spices, but you can add any spices you would like to add. It's all up to you here. And now we're gonna mix it all together very well, so all of the spices are very well distributed. Okay, I can't use this, I'm gonna use my hands. Now we're gonna transfer these potatoes into a lined baking sheet using parchment paper. We've done now, and like so many of these videos this really is just a technique, and as long as we're using these specific spices, you can very much use any herbs and spices you want. But regardless, once we have seasoned the potatoes, we can go ahead and carefully transfer these into the center of 200 degrees Celsius oven for 20 minutes or until they get golden brown. Extra potato, you can boil them, and so I'm gonna boil them with hot water. And while we're waiting for the potato to be done, we're gonna prepare the chicken breast. So I have here 1 chicken breast, and we're gonna cut it into small cubes, like a fork-sized pieces, or smaller. You know what? I'm gonna cut them into smaller pieces because the potato that I used are very small, so we're gonna cut them into 1/2 inch pieces or 1 inch pieces. Okay, a piece like that. Actually, the size doesn't matter. What matters, all of these have to be the same size so it cooks evenly. Let's set these aside. Let's go ahead to prepare the bechamel. For the bechamel sauce, we're gonna need 2 tablespoons of butter. And then we're gonna need to use 3 tablespoons of flour, which we call a roux. And the roux is equal quantity of butter and flour together. Now we're gonna roast these to the bottom until you get that smell of a bye. We have to roast it very well, and this is a key point here. Once the roux is cooked very thoroughly and you can smell its beautiful smell, we can go ahead to next step, which is adding 2 cups of cold milk, and it has to be cold. This is 1 and this is 2. And all you want to do right now is stir in very much constantly until these lumps that formed right now dissolves. So don't worry, it just has to take time. And then you're gonna get so beautiful bechamel sauce, so soft, so creamy. It just needs time. And when you get this point where the sauce texture is like so creamy, then you're done. So the secret to a perfect bechamel sauce is very hot roux and very cold milk. And that's it. Very hot roux, very cold milk. Now last step is adding the seasoning. So I'm not gonna add that much. All I'm gonna add is 1 teaspoon of salt, in addition to 1 teaspoon of black pepper, as usual. Mix very well, and then turn off the stove. At that point, our potato is totally done, so we're gonna take it out. Do you see? It took me half an hour nearly, just to get golden brown like that. The extra potato, they are done right now, and I'm gonna set them aside. So we're gonna add a little bit of olive oil. Now we're gonna wait for the olive oil first to get very hot, and then we're gonna toss in our chicken pieces. We're gonna cook this, stir in pretty much all the way through until it's golden brown. Let's season it right now with some salt, about 1 teaspoon, and some black pepper too. I'm gonna add a little bit of ginger, not that much, like half a teaspoon, and that's it. We're gonna go ahead and add 2 onions. I cut them into small pieces. We're gonna add in our pepper too, nearly 2 pieces of pepper, and that's it. Now let's mix and blend all of these together. Okay, so let's cover them right now and let them cook for 15 to 20 minutes. The chicken is done. The last step is adding the potato. These potatoes that we boiled together. You can add them, or if you don't want, it's not a necessary step. But because I have them, I'm gonna add them. Now our filling is done. We're gonna fill the potato bowls. And then we're gonna go ahead to add the bechamel sauce above each and every piece of the potato. You see that the bechamel sauce is thick right now with us. We don't want it to be runny, we want it to be thick like that, so it could stick to the pieces of potato. And if you find that it's gonna be hard for you to do it one by one with a spoon, you can wait for the bechamel sauce to get cold, and then you can fill it into a bibing bag and use the bibing bag just to tub it with the sauce. And now once all of the pieces are topped, we're gonna sprinkle some of the paprika above it just to give it that beautiful color, you know. Okay, now we're gonna take it back to the oven. Now wait for it to get golden brown, and see you later. And that's it. I went ahead and finished it off with just a little bit of chopped parsley. If you have some, and my dish of potato chips is done, you can eat it like that or serve it with rice and some vegetables. Actually, these potatoes with that brown crusty surface outside and then that soft creamy delicious inside, which has soaked in all that flavor from the chicken and the herbs and the spices and the bechamel sauce. And no matter how you serve it, I think you'll find this to be the most delicious chicken and potato recipes you've ever tasted. Thanks for watching, and if you liked my video, please make sure to subscribe, like, follow and share so you can help me get more people to reach. Let's Snore Kitchen. See you later!